Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop, or in this case, the garage. I'm Tim, and you're watching Doc's Autos. In the last video, or next video, depending on where everything works out in timing and parts, we're still working on the 72 Challenger. Today we are working on our front inner fender. This one is damaged. There is some crumples up here from an accident in a prior life. This was cut and welded back together. I don't know why, but our goal is to take this old piece out and put in a new one. Let me grab you and come over here quick. So the issue at hand here, if it comes in on camera, is this front area right here, you can see is all crumpled up and looks like it was pulled back and welded or something at some point earlier in its life. And that is causing most of this stuff up here not to fit where it should. In terms of lining up for the front cowl, grill assembly, the hood, front fender, which is down in the shop. But overall, nothing fits like it should, and we're going to fix that. Now you can see this front support is damaged. We are going to bend this back and just weld in some filler here. You can see over here how it should look. Unfortunately, replacing just this top piece is not an easy thing to do. You have to pretty much replace the entire support assembly, which we're not going to do. This can be hammered out and fixed, no problem. This cannot. Well, maybe somebody could, but I'm not. So our goal is to get rid of this ugly green thing and put in a new thing up here. We've got a new piece here from year one that's been sitting down in the shop for a while. And to do that, we pretty much only need to remove the bracket here that holds on the heater hose bypass. Then we can start whacking away at this piece. And I think what I'm going to do, much like I've done with the rear quarter panel, is just start sectioning out bigger chunks and then come back and break off all the spot welds down along where it joins in with the other part of the car. So let me get some eyes and ears on. We'll grab our grinder and just start cutting some stuff out. We've got a bolt down here for the hard lines for our brakes. Not terribly concerned about these because they're all getting replaced anyways. In fact, everything here is, we've got new suspension, we've got new bushings for everything. The whole K-frame is going to be coming off. It's going to get worse before it gets better. You've heard that before. I'm going to find my grinder and just sort of cut along here, up around the suspension stand, and then across here and up here. And that's only going to leave me with, I think, a bunch of spot welds here I'm going to cut around. There's about 10 spot welds here. Well, that was pretty easy. So I'm going to spare you the time of going and cutting off all these spot welds and end pieces, but I'm going to do that and come back, and we'll be able to start cleaning up this front area here, get it straight, and then clean everything up and get ready for putting the new part back on. Let's take a look at that real quick, actually. As long as it's right here in front of us. This is not covered in E-coat, so it's got a little bit of crusty rusty on it. Nothing we can't deal with. Yeah. It'll just drop in here like this. Yeah, sure, that'll be just fine once we get all this old stuff off, I hope, because, well, it's too late to put that stuff back. There we go. There. Let's just put a few rivets in here, a couple of sheet metal screws, and call this good. No, that's not how we do things here. Anyways, I'm gonna go get this finished cleaned up, and you'll see me soon. Well, it's a new day, and we've done a lot of work off camera. We've gotten all of the old metal off, removed. It's sitting over there in the Cushman to go down to the dumpster. We've prepped most of this area. In the process, I found, not sure if I mentioned it before, this whole support, I don't really know what it does other than just have some additional bracing for the inner fender. It was only held onto the strut tower with one crappy tack weld, because clearly I broke it just by leaning on it. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to drill out a couple spots, actually on the back side here, weld through and see if that doesn't do it for us. Get that fixed up. This was cut and re-welded at one point in time. That needs to be re-welded because when I leaned on it, I broke it. And also we've uncovered over here, looks like a crack in the metal, likely from the impact over here. It's just cracked, so I'm going to lift this up, try and pull it out with my stud gun just a hair, fill it in with some weld, and then of course seam seal that whole mess over there. Not a big deal, but there is potential for water to get in. Really, it's just going to run down, well, I guess that kind of runs down into this cowl, which drains down. Not a huge deal, but better take care of it and make sure it's dry as possible. Up here in the front, we are about 3/16 pushed back on the top end of here. I just measured front to back, front to back, front to back. On both sides, I tried the diagonal. I don't have a good tool to measure that with, but I'll do a little more digging there. But anyways, we're about 3/16 pushed back, so when we put everything back together, I can just pull this out, tack it in place with a cleco or a clamp or something, and we'll be good to go there. I've got these areas to get cleaned up over here where the metal just broke out, and ready to kind of start setting things in place. We've got our new inner fender, like I said, and that fits in place pretty well. We will, of course, clamp it. Like I said, probably get some clecos in here, and the biggest thing I need to do is work with it and massage both this, and then there's another stub on this front core support that everything welds onto. Just make sure that those angles and contours are the same. Make sure it didn't bend anything out of shape when I was pulling off the old stuff. So that's where we're at here. And in case you're asking yourself, yes, everything else gets stripped out of the engine bay. It's going to get blasted down, resprayed, the sublime green, everything up here. And then the K-member, that's coming off. That's getting reshot black, but everything else up here is going to be the sublime green. Probably up this whole cowl area These will be black little plastic inserts. And of course, we've got our hood, which is going to be green, of course, green underneath, and then just the black inserts for the air intakes. So that's pretty much where we're at now. I'm going to go ahead, start getting this braced up and welded in, and then we'll work with everything else, front and back. Back and front. I don't know which way is up today, apparently. And just keep moving forward. So let me find my Clecos. We'll get this set in place, weld this, and move forward. Alrighty, well, I've gone ahead and gotten the whole area prepped, covered with our weld through primer, and this support is reclamped where it should be on the car. Lined up the old single spot weld or tack weld that was on here. Got everything lined up, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and burn in these couple of spots back here that I made, wherever my welding blanket went. Huh. I don't know. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and get that burned in, and hope I don't need my welding blanket because I'm not sure where it went. Maybe it's in the shop still. I don't know. So, well, hey, right here. I actually put it away. What do you know? I just want to throw it over the tire and the suspension stuff that's down here, because even though it's all getting replaced, why make a bigger mess than I have to? Get this, hopefully get a decent ground there. And again, there's just 5 points on the back side of here. We'll get those burned in here quick. My other magnetic light I think got left in the RV this winter, so I won't see that till spring. Here we go. Alrighty. I think we're good to go there. I've got to go ahead and get this piece here leveled out, and then I can finish welding this back in. So let me do that, and we'll come back and get that welded up. Alright, I think we'll be good there. Go ahead and weld this back in. And yeah, these welds are already kind of boogery, and they're going to be even boogerier. But you're not going to see it. It's under the front fender. And I'm not terribly concerned about it. All right. Whoop. So while that cools, I'm going to get that other panel ready to go. I'm going to set it in place, but actually looking at the clock, I got a family event to go to this evening, so I'm going to stop here for now and get cleaned up, go do that, and I'll come back tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Well, wouldn't you know, another new day. My time is pretty valuable. Well, my time is limited and not valuable apparently. So today, for me, we have our inner fender mocked up where it should go. I have markings made on the back of here. I'm yet to take this off and pre-drill all of my holes for our spot welds. While I do have the pinch welder, that's only going to work in 3 or 4 spots here, maybe 1 or 2 up here. Otherwise, this metal here on our strut support is way too thick for that pinch welder. So it's just going to be best if I knock out 20, 30, 40,000 holes and just do spot welds all through here. And at the end of the day, we'll grind them down and make them look like new. Or in the case of the other side, like they're never even there. But for right now, I want to get this front end tied up. This is all measured where it should be based off that side of the car. And I want to go ahead and fix this front core support and our side brace on here up in this corner behind these clamps before I take everything off, drill holes, and then fit it back for the final time. The less amount of parts moving around, the better. And that goes for less me talking, the better too. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a couple of welds in here. Where's my pliers? There it is. If my big, meaty, gloved hands can. There we go. There we go. I think I need a zero tint when off helmet because I can't see a whole lot. Now again, we're just sort of reconstructing what was already here because this whole part is not really feasible to replace for just this little corner. And it won't be perfect, but having the fender over it will cover up probably 90% of anything here. And we'll come back with the grinder, of course, and get all these little welds cleaned up. So have no fear. I'm a better grinder than I am a welder. That'll be fine. We'll get him cleaned up. And I will find a little piece of metal here and brace this in. We're not going to bridge 3/4 of an inch with metal. That's just dumb. So we got that. We got this. I'll clean this up. But that allows us to have this all in place so I can take a final measurement again. Should be 40 and a 16th. Again, this is just real approximate because I don't have one of those diagonal tools. Somebody wants to send me one, that'd be great. We pop back out just a hair. Now I'm going to just do this. I have marks on here. Oh, there we go. Let's, not catch my shirt on the clamp. That'd be great. All right, that will line up. My marks are good there. So what I'm gonna do quick is pull this back off for a last time. I'll show you. I marked on the back here with a Sharpie where my lines are. So pretty much I just need to drill some pilot holes and then open them up a little bit for the reamer. And that's going to give us our placement where we can go ahead, put it back and start welding it in place. So that's what I'm going to go do. All right, we've got this thing pre-drilled for all of our weld or spot welds. I've got a number of clecos holding everything in place where it should be. We've got our clamps on, everything is measured. So I'm just gonna start burning stuff in. I'm just gonna skip around so we don't have any excess heat, warping. I'm more concerned about the smaller one, smaller, thinner metal here than of course the stuff down here on the frame rails. But either way, we're just going to get her done. A little taparoo right back here, and we'll be good to go. You know, it's more difficult to crawl in this thing now than it was in the last scene. Oh, you notice I've still got this other cut piece here to weld back on. It's somewhere. I'll be in the trunk. Anyways, you know, you're gonna be seeing my best side. Let's see if I can move you here quick. The only person that likes to look at that side of me is my wife. If I don't fall on my butt. I don't know if there is a good spot for you, but I'm gonna start here. I wanna grab a couple up here that I can get to on the outside, help hold things in place. Then I'll crawl in. Oh yeah, that'll be just fine. Alrighty, well that inner fender is in, and I think it looks pretty good. There's a few booger welds I've got to go back and clean up, but there's a handful of other things I've got to do yet. Like I said, the rest of this roof, there's about a dozen or two pinch welds to hit yet. There's a couple little patches up here on the A-pillar, but overall that is in, and that is the last, well again, depending on if you're seeing this first or the rear quarter first, those are the last two big pieces of metal that need to get swapped out. And from then on, we can focus on, well, a lot. There's a bunch of little pinholes to go deal with. Of course, prepping the entire vehicle for primer. And then I can finish any of the metal work on the shell. Like I said, most of the fenders, the hood, the doors, the trunk. Actually, I haven't touched the hood yet. That's another daunting task, but that's in good shape. Everything else that's not on the car has been pretty well metal worked, at least to probably 80, 85%. I do want to come back before Paint, of course, reassemble everything, make sure our lines are fine, fix anything there, blow it all apart again, pull out the dash, that's getting sent off to be restored or rebuilt, replaced, something to that effect. And then prime the whole thing, paint it, clear it, reassemble. We've got new suspension, new exhaust, new brakes, new tires, new wheels, new glass, new interior. That's still a lot of things to measure and count and keep track of. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here for now. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button below. Really helps the channel. Also, we're over on Facebook. Instagram will pretty much post new stuff every couple of days before the videos come out. And hopefully we'll get going in our cadence of a new video every week coming out shortly. But for me right now, it's the sometime in January. It's cold in the shop, so every time I gotta work on something, I've gotta kick my car out, bring this thing up here, which is no small challenge considering the engine's over there, not in there. And that I hope to fix this year. If we can get the engine bay repainted, rewired, then maybe we can get the engine back in it, at least making it easier to get back and forth to the shop. But I'm guessing by that time it's gonna be warmer out and we can work in the shop. So again, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Have fun doing what you're doing. Bye-bye. I got a mess to clean up.